Okay, friends, it's the last week of December, and we're coming to a time when a lot of information is going to come out about COVID, vaccinations, and what happened over the last 2 months with the election. So be prepared. As I've been saying, you cannot trust mainstream media. You cannot trust mainstream newspapers. You have to, and I've been sending out videos and articles, posting them on my Facebook page of what I consider to be reliable sources of information. Without that critical information, and I'm not saying it's 100% perfect, but it's way better than the garbage you get from the main networks. So as we start to sift, and this is what I mean by it takes time to sort information, start to put it in buckets and put the pieces together. I've been doing this for a long time, and I finally feel like I'm starting to figure out what's been going on since 9/11. What I believe God is doing through Donald Trump and patriots in the military, independent journalists, good guys all around the world, is we are reversing that horrible crime. It took 20 years, but that crime, God is dealing with the perpetrators of that evil. And you think about it, it's not just Americans, New Yorkers that suffered on that day. The airline industry was set back. Our economy went through a phase of a downturn. Insurance companies, AIG and others, ran out of money. All these things caused rates to go up, and they're still up from that time, which impacts regular Americans and businesses and so forth. What else happened? Well, Middle East, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria got bombed. People died, innocent civilians, Iraqis, Afghanis died unnecessarily, because we know that the reason that those buildings came down had nothing to do with Afghanis or the Taliban. And once you start to figure this out and you get over the shock, which most people don't know, you become part of the solution. What is the solution? Where are we headed? Well, if we are on the verge of a great awakening, which I believe we are, it's not just going to impact the spiritual life of people, where they now know there's such a thing as a God. They now know that there's a heaven and a hell. They're going to know about Jesus and his message, his salvation message to all humans everywhere. But it's going to have an impact in medicine, because once we learn about this COVID nonsense, of what it really is and what it can and cannot do, or how it was formed, how the masks are actually hurting people rather than helping people, what government has been willing to do in the name of public health, what is revealed about our government, how it was used to thwart a very good direction in our economy. All these things are just going to keep manifesting, which means that truth is going to run out into different sectors of society. Obviously, we need new media. We need new education. We need new medicine, new pharmaceutical. We need new politics. And that is coming to not only America, but it's coming to the world. We are on the verge of transitioning from living under a canopy of lies or within a sea of lies to now having strokes of light touch us, where we can follow those streaks or strokes of light out of the darkness that we all have been in, and begin the process of rebuilding America and the world. That's what's coming. And this week is going to be the beginning of disclosing how deep the swamp is, how compromised Congress is, how our governmental agencies, obviously the intelligence, but our State Department, our DOJ, our FBI, and many other agencies are filled with people, career people, who will never be elected to office, who have done nothing but cover up crimes. Evil, wicked, sinister schemes have been covered up by government employees. And Donald Trump has to get rid of these people, and he will. And we have to support that effort, meaning when the government gets downsized, we have to be on board. When people say, well, what are we going to do? You know, we have less of this and less of that, and the law enforcement and all these problems are now going to happen, and the fear factor is going to come back. Don't worry about it. We should fear our government. Let's fear our State Department, our FBI, our CIA. Let's fear them more than we fear any kind of manufactured terrorists coming to our shores. They're the ones, our intelligence agencies, they're the ones that have sponsored terrorism, domestic terrorism. They're the ones that have let drugs, terrible drugs, and they have brought in child trafficking to our nation, made it an underground business, probably the most profitable business in the world, all under the guise of being a government agency. There's just so much to talk about on that. But I'm going to leave it at, we have to organize as a people, whether you're liberal, conservative, libertarian, all those things need to go away. Yes, hold on to your core points of view, but let's unite around truth. Let's unite around dealing with high crimes and misdemeanors, treason. When people do not defend the rights of children, when they don't defend the rights of soldiers who are whistleblowers, and they don't defend the rights of people in the press to allow them to speak the truth on a CNN or a Fox and tell us what's really going on. No, these good journalists are being squelched. We need to support those people. What does that mean? Watch their news versus mainstream news. Fund it. Support it. Join in those groups. And let's show the Foxes, the ABC, the MSNBC, show them that the American people are not behind them. And the church, the pastors, they need to get to the place where they actually can discern right from wrong. That's what has hurt us the most. Pastors have no discernment. They're afraid of conspiracy theories. They're afraid of sounding like they're on the far edge of extreme in their unveiling of wicked schemes. They're afraid to go out on the edge. They're afraid to stand for something that sounds a little crazy, like aliens and what they really are. These things have to be uncovered.